Hello everybody, we're back again, and this time I'm not wearing my usual suit. This is eagle-eyed viewers will spot this from episode 1 and 2, my favourite shirt, and if you're cosplaying as
Adam Maitland from Beetlejuice.
Yeah, this seems to be back in fashion. I did have one of these around 1988 anyway, so they seem to have come back full circle. But anyway, we're here and we're talking Doctor Who. But we're back in the Titanic 401 Cafe and Bar, and we're back with that view. And since we did the
today's actually a very nice day.
It is a nice day, but funnily enough, we've been taking the piss out of Richard and Judy, but Richard and Judy are back.
Big time.
Yeah, so they were back for a special episode there on TV, and it's like they hadn't gone away. But it's funny how all these things are happening with This Morning since we started taking the mickey out of it.
A very warm good morning to you. Welcome to Liverpool's Albert Dock. My name is Richard Madeley, and this is my wife, Judy Finnegan.
Hello.
And this morning, and every weekday morning, we invite you to join us for a brand new show.
The whole Philip Schofield coming out thing, and
Richard and Judy's return.
Richard and Judy's return.
What next? Fred the Weatherman going to come back?
Somehow I don't think so. Although they did say we're going to the weather, and I sort of thought, oh dear. But no.
It wasn't really saying. When you talk about This Morning, now you talk saying how they're filming Television Centre.
Oh yes.
The former BBC Television Centre.
Yes, and on top of all that, top of them coming back and all that, they are filming in BBC Television Centre, which is where a lot of classic Who was filmed. So interesting, it's just weird how things work out. Well, we thought we'd mention it anyway. It's nothing to do with us, but it's just interesting.
I just thought it's interesting how we're bringing This Morning into this talk about reviews of Doctor Who, and how where the film This Morning is tied in with where they used to film Doctor Who.
And not only that, but the original hosts of This Morning are back, albeit for one day. So we see so far. Maybe they might come back for more. I don't know, but interesting nonetheless. We're back again, yes, and we've only got 2 episodes of Doctor Who left.
There's one next week.
Yes.
Big finale. Big one.
And we're going to do a special episode after that where we review the whole series and whatever happens in the next episode.
And do we give a yay or nay to Neill?
Or chin balls, as some people call him. Speaking of which, he wrote this episode called Ascension of the Cybermen. I wonder what's going to happen in this episode now.
Yeah, it's nice also that we've gone back to a off the Cyberman title.
Yes, indeed.
Do you remember those days where we were something off the Cyberman and off the Daleks, and the cliffhanger was a Dalek was revealed, and you're going,
yeah.
You kind of give it away when you title.
I think I was rewatching the Moon Base, and it was very good.
Yeah.
Because you saw the silhouette of the Cyberman in that one, and I think they sort of did that here.
Oh yeah.
With the previous episode.
But then again, there was a surprise last week in the Cyberman.
Yeah. Oh yeah. So we don't need to worry about it. They've been revealed already.
No, not like worse. I know, because I think one of the best surprises of the Cyberman was Earthshock.
Yes, it was indeed. And I think, funnily enough, the Doctor was worried in the last episode about losing more people, and she also mentioned it in this episode as well, where she's, saying she's been reckless with the companions. And I keep thinking she's thinking back to Adric from when he saved the world. We also had the alternate Jackie Tyler. Remember her? Yeah. We also had Bill in the sort of last Doctor. There's been others as well, hasn't there?
It's been characters she's met on adventures who've sacrificed themselves for the Cybermen.
Yes.
She's fight for them to defeat the Cybermen.
So she's got a lot on her mind, but I don't think the Doctor cares about that. But anyway, so yeah, we get a cold open in this one, When I first saw it, I was thinking, space, the final frontier. These are the voyages of Cybermen. But it was really good graphics, and the transition through the cyber drone's eye. I don't know if it was a drone or just a Cyberman head floating, but either way, we got that cool kind of sort of zoom in through the eye, and then we're into the titles. And the first thing I noticed when we open is that we're in a Captain Janeway from Voyager holodeck scene in Ireland, to be sure. And I didn't really know what was going on here.
No ramblings, Irish ramblings in this one.
No Irish ramblings in this one.
Chicken fingers.
Yes, that's a Picard reference if you've been watching that show. And then we sort of wonder, we see this little story about a baby that shows up, Ginger.
Ginger.
The Doctor has always wanted to be Ginger, but I don't think it is the Doctor. But the question is, who
is
Brendan? We don't know.
No, but then again, we have to answer the question.
But anyway, with some lovely scenes in Ireland, and he grows up and joins the Garda.
As you do.
Yeah, as you do.
One's in the olden days of Ireland.
Yeah. Well, we're jumping ahead of ourselves here because we get to the scenes where the Doctor is. There's a nice little segue when the Brendan's mother was, I'll if there's any problems I'll call the Doctor. And then we cut to the Doctor bringing all her gubbins with her to fight Cybermen, or at least slow them down.
At least it didn't call the midwife.
No. No. But we have a collection of characters. The actress that's in this, I recognise her from somewhere, but I can't place
Which actress is that?
She had a Scottish accent.
Are you talking about that woman there? Or the other woman?
No. There's a woman.
Not the older woman?
Yeah.
Julie Graham, was it?
Can't remember her name, but she looked familiar.
I know she was in a thing with Martin Clunes.
What was that?
Where she's like a midwife. No, she's a midwife. He's a funeral director or something.
Oh no, well, she might be, but I haven't seen that, so I'm not sure what she's been in.
Which is not Doctor Who reference, because one of Martin Clunes' earliest TV roles was in Doctor Who.
Indeed, that's right. Where he was wearing an earring, wasn't he?
Yeah, like he came out in the Romantics band.
One of the things I wanted to say though was that in relation to the story about the last humans on Earth, and it's kind of a very desolate place. The cinematography is amazing on this, and
it wasn't. It looks like they won't be on reels yet again.
Yeah, indeed. And the graphics, the CGI is hyper real here. It feels like it's actually, they've just shot that footage, and the craft that land are there. They're in the shot. This woman here, we'll show you a picture of her, but
you thought she was nothing with Martin Clunes,
right? But I'm thinking of her for somewhere else. When I figure out who she is, I'll put her name and what she was in that I'm thinking of on the screen.
I'm wearing the screen.
Yeah. But the Doctor's kind of like, yeah, we'll sort you out. We're fine. Trust us. We've got all this stuff. And she plugs it all in, plops it down, and all the. What? I'm trying to think of something here. Heads will roll. They don't roll, but they fly in this, and they come in, start blasting. It's the cyber drones.
And all that makes you catch straight doesn't do anything.
No, in the end, the drones come along and just shoot to kill. But they aren't all they have to deal with. The drones are just the beginning. There's a lot more to happen. But just for that few minutes, they put a little bit of hope into the eyes of these humans that have been stranded. And, the main guy says that he was a teacher, and they're not really warriors or anything like that. But Graham is very hands-on in this, and he's rolled his sleeves up and away he goes.
I feel like Doctor Who is the last of the optimistic sci-fi shows these days.
Yeah, very much so, especially since the theme of this episode seems to be hope. And I do wonder if the license fee gets abolished, whether that sort of thing will then just be gone, and it'll all be about what audiences want, which is good for a show, but if you have a fan base and you go for something else, Is that always wise? I don't know.
Which is why you probably started more. I feel like, Stargate is getting popular again, but is it? But the reason why the fans are annoyed is it feels like it's going away from the core values. You don't want the same thing to happen in Doctor Who.
No.
But Doctor Who is a very flexible show. It can't be anything. It has changed its format many times over the years. But you don't want to lose the optimism.
No.
I don't like the fact that you've been taken out.
You don't like the fact that
Units have been.
Oh yes.
Taken out. I feel like you've taken an established part of Doctor Who and you've just written them out.
Although they were taken out for a long time in the 80s.
Oh yeah, but that's to say they no longer exist.
Oh yes.
That they've been disbanded.
Yeah.
Whereas they just disappeared or came back whenever the Doctor needed a presence on Earth.
Yeah. Yeah, those kinds of changes to the show are very selfish, because they're not chibnals to take away. But I guess, well, like we have to just deal with it because there's no point sitting and resenting decisions that are made creatively. So yeah, we get to the bit where they realise that they've been defeated, and it's like those disaster movies, when you see someone happy and full of hope, and then they're just going to die, and that's what happens here with Chippy. I don't know what his name is, but we'll call him Chippy.
Or that's not the old war film thing is, the guy who always goes, "See that woman there? I'm going to marry her." And then he's the one who gets.
Exactly. I've got 3 weeks left to retirement.
You're not going to make it.
But so we get some cool scenes with the guys leaping about, being blasted by the Cybermen heads that are drones, and basically the equipment is gone. It's kaput, and we get little Chippy. I don't know what his name is, but he gets blasted by the Cybermen, and his brother becomes very resentful. He becomes full of hate, and not just full of hate, but more pessimistic. He doesn't think there's any point. Now, I guess it's understandable. It's understandable if your brother has just been murdered, but that's how come his attitude has changed.
I'm looking at it here. It's like a war movie, right? Right. Just seeing it here.
Yeah, the way it's been color graded, the way it's been shot,
definitely.
The sort of film speed, if you like. All of that has been designed to be hyper real in those shots.
This is as intense as opening of Saving Private Ryan.
Yeah, and that's the shots of the spacecraft. That's what I'm saying. They look hyper real because of the way they've been shot, and the way that they've been put together for this to kind of match the surroundings. It all looks very, very pretty.
More handheld.
Yes.
Sometimes I might criticise the writing of a lot of modern TV shows, but the visual styles are really amazing these days.
Yes, definitely. Like Doctor Who feels very real, even though it's a sci-fi kind of setting.
Now with Doctor Who, it feels like you're watching a movie every week.
Yeah.
In the gaming group that I'm part of, we talk about Doctor Who and so on. One thing we're talking about in classic Doctor Who is classic Doctor Who was shot like a TV sitcom is now with 3 camera setup.
Yes.
And like a full show. And for what Doctor Who required, what they did with that camera setup was very limiting compared to this movie shot that they now was amazing.
It was, and they got the camera into places, that it shouldn't have been in, or you couldn't really have been in, but they used like mirrors and things, and I think at one point they rigged like a periscope for some of the shots, which was really, really clever. And they had the resources of the BBC outside broadcast unit for some of this stuff as well. Yeah. And whenever that became more mobile and cameras became smaller.
By the late 80s, and especially in the Courier, it had gone completely videotape.
Yeah, exactly. In fact, when I was watching the Behind the Sofa for the Survival, I think it was Janet Fielding sort of said, "Oh, you can't really tell the difference between the film and the studio shots." And nobody told her that one, it was all location, and 2, that it was all video. She didn't seem to realise that.
It started with Charles Hamill, was the first season of strictly on video.
Yes. Apart from some of the effects, of course, but that's just getting into the nitty-gritty of it. But back to this story, of course, and so what do we call this guy? Cyberleader, is he? Is he Cyberleader?
Oh, the one who was in last week's episode?
Yeah.
I think he's some the low Cyberman.
They called him leader.
But is he?
in this book.
But he's also referred. Is he the lone Cyberman that Jack referred to?
Yes, but he's found pals now, and they're calling him Leader.
Leader.
And
Yes, Leader.
He is. So the guys are basically they're being attacked, and they try to escape in this rust bucket of a spaceship, and they get separated from Ryan.
Classic Doctor Who trope there.
And not only that, but then we know Ryan is leaving, so it's kind of like, oh, is this going to be the end of Ryan? No, it's not.
Is it confirmed he's leaving?
Yeah, he's in another TV show.
Well,
So-
by Yaz and Graham still.
We don't know. Yaz and Graham are still up in the air.
So are we going to have? Is he going to be the hat-trick of the season?
He could be.
Hat-trick.
Could be, or he could just leave at the end of it, and go and see his friends and stay with them. Because there are a few scenes in this which I'll get to later, which kind of suggest to me that they're preparing us for a different TARDIS crew. But anyway, in this, the Doctor discovers that Ryan is still here, and she's a bit miffed. She's like, "What are you doing here?" But what could he do? Got separated. But there isn't really much. The Doctor doesn't spend much time with Ryan, if you know what I mean. There's no real Ryan and Doctor banter. There's a little bit, but that's it.
I'm actually kind of glad the Doctor's moving away from, hey, new pal, everything.
Yeah, because we talked about it before in the other episode where she was very mumsy and pally.
Yeah.
And that contradicts a lot of what's happening. When she didn't really say much to Graham whenever he told her about the cancer, that was a step back in a way to how the Doctor was, how the character has moved on. But do you think we're going to get a fourth year with Jonny then?
Well, definitely get a third year, but most Doctors stay for 3 years.
Yeah.
Now, she might. Now, the only two actors who've done more than 3 years are John Pertwee and Tom Baker.
And also David Tennant, because he did a series of specials.
Yeah, but they're but it's like they still have 3 full seasons.
Yes,
But
he
yeah,
did.
year specials.
Yeah.
But out of the modern Doctor, he's probably
And
had the longest
John
run.
Pertwee, actually,
He did 5 years.
he did 5, so...
But when William Hartnell and Patrick Troughton were doing it, they did 3 years each, and it was due to William Hartnell's health at move on. But in the 60s, they were doing 46 episodes a year.
I think I can't even speak. I think Patrick Troughton was just tired
Yeah, because
of the grueling schedule.
and then because it was when John Pertwee came on, they brought it down to 26 episodes.
Yes. And colour and action and all of that stuff. Which to me seems crazy that they didn't switch to film. Just all film with John Pertwee, because his Doctor stories would have really, really benefited from
Spearhead
shot on film.
Spearhead from Space just looks amazing on film.
Oh yeah, it does. And so can you imagine any of the other stuff? Some of his Venusian Aikido, if that's what you call it, shots that were shot in a studio but on film look brilliant.
And then Barry Lett's thing was CSO, and in the 70s he wanted to push it because it was the movie in the 70s. He wanted to push it, and it was a case of sometimes it really worked, and then sometimes it was maybe stop using it. It's a bit too much, but I liked it.
You couldn't have done that on film, to be fair, but if you look at things like Space 1999 that was shot in the 70s, and even likes of UFO, things like that were sci-fi, could have been done really well. If you especially if they had Elstree Studios at their beck and call, they could have really, really repurposed sets and things very well. It's just a shame they didn't go down that road, because videotape cannot really be upscaled, whereas film can. And film lasts longer because it hasn't been erased.
Which is why with Doctor Who Blu-ray sets, there's probably a lot more work to be done for the earlier stories. I mean, the reason why they did season 10 first of John Pertwee's era is that because there's a lot of colorization done for season 7 of John Pertwee's first year.
Yes.
I think that it has to have a lot more work done to make it HD quality.
Yeah, because if you think even the way some of the video is shot, there's kind of a blur. So if you have a torch, it has like a a trail behind it when it moves, kind of thing.
Doctor Who and the Solarians, or should we just say the Solarians? Doctor Who and the Solarians is no a mistake. That's more like the book title. But no, they call it Doctor Who and the Solarians, but the fact it's called the Solarians. That was one of the ones that was not the original colour one was lost and it existed in black and white. And when they did the restoration of it originally, they did more remastered for the DVD version and probably do more for the Blu-ray when it eventually comes. But they took the first one is they took the black and white telecine and then merged it with the colour, but it also has a very the early versions of Doctor Who and the Solarians has a very washed out look to it. And I think they have to do it, and it looks better on DVD, but I think they have to do more work to bring up the HD level.
But yeah, I mean, it would be interesting to see some of the old stuff on DVD because some of the stuff we've got so far from the 80s, Colin Baker and Sylvester McCoy look great.
Season 19 looks great, the film stuff is great.
26, season 26, if you watch the film version of Curse of Fenric, I recommend doing that because I don't bother watching the original episodes anymore because they look too washed out and the timing is off on them. So I might watch them maybe down the line, but I prefer watching the film version because that's how they originally would have liked to have done it.
Or is I like to explore all versions just to see how it has.
Some people do, yes, but for me personally, I prefer that version of it. But anyway,
I prefer the feature film version myself.
But back to the story, and they're hot wiring a what are they called? I don't know what their spaceships are called, but a Cyberman spaceship. The Doctor's like, yeah, I used to hot wire these, and then the kid is like, here's a quicker way of doing it, and they take off in this thing. It's good because we're getting to see more of the cyber technology. We never really have stayed long enough on screen in past Cybermen stories, especially with Russell T Davies. It's very quick fire, where they were with the Daleks or something like that. So we never really got to, apart from their introductory story with Trigger from Only Fools and Horses, we didn't really get to see much.
And they were different Cybermen.
They were, yeah, but we didn't get to see much of their technology the way we would have with the Daleks. So it's nice to see what that looks like, and it also looks really good.
I mean, it's also a fact that you couldn't do these episodes in a 7-week run.
No.
So as the writer of Fear Her said, wasn't one of my favourite episodes. Said, I don't think you can do Fear Her. I don't think I could watch Fear Her over 7 weeks.
Yeah. But yeah, so we sort of go back to Brendan as a boy in the police, and
it's always like a Hovis advert.
It's very colour graded and stuff, but
it's very sepia.
Whenever he's out on the job, he goes and applies for the job as a Garda, which is the Irish police, and it's all smiles and everything's great. Oh, we're very proud of you. But whenever we get to the bit where he's chasing a felon and he gets shot, something happens. I was thinking it was very Captain Jack. It's like, gasping.
Do you think he could be a Time Lord?
Well, there's a couple of theories. One is that he is the timeless child. Whether that be a Time Lord or not, I don't know.
Well, the very first Time Lord?
Could be. But also the guy, the Northern Irish actor whose name has escaped me, that he was been in Game of Thrones and lots of other things, who shows up later in this episode. He happens to be Irish. I don't know if he is Brendan, even. I don't know.
Could be.
Potentially he could be Brendan. But we really don't know at this stage. But it's just like a typical little story. It's completely separate. Almost like a holodeck scene.
It's like a separate story. It's like two stories going on here.
Yeah.
Obviously, they're going to merge together in next week's episode.
Yes. But anyway, so the gang are in their sort of rust bucket hexagon shaped type. Is it hexagon or octagon? I don't know which. Rust bucket. They're flying around, and this is whenever Graham and Yaz are like, you have to have hope. You have to try. We have to stay alive. All of that, because they're thinking, well, this is it. We're going to go to this place, this safe haven. They want to go there and, escape, basically. But they find themselves in a situation where they end up having a choice, of just dying, wandering aimlessly and dying, or they use the last of their energy resources to blast into a spaceship. and Graham is like, we have to have a go at this. Graham really comes into his own in this series, doesn't he, compared to last year when he was, I don't want to go anywhere near this. He's completely...
more hands-on.
Yeah. He's been on lots of adventures with the Doctor. The Doctor has sort of trained him in a way. And so we get... we get these scenes where Graham is kind of shining. So we're on board the cyber ship, and then the lone Cyberman / Cyberleader, he shows up in a hologram form and has a bit of a chat with the Doctor.
It's always hologram for communications these days, isn't it?
Yeah. But he's talking to the Doctor, and she's basically saying to him, you hate yourself because you are what you despise. But she's very surprised to learn that actually he agrees with her.
Yeah, I wasn't expecting to do that.
No. But the 13th Doctor is facing off people more in this series, isn't she?
She's actually starting to feel like the Doctor to me.
But yeah, she is very much more Doctor-like in this series. But she's not taking any crap from the Cybermen. Now, in regard to Brendan, where he fell and then he woke up, his dad's attitude seems to shift, doesn't it?
I've been just watching it there now. I just noticed that it's like the police chief and the dad know stuff in there. I didn't notice it the first time, but noticed it.
Yeah, there's definitely something up. Because he's giving him funny looks. He's like, yeah, there's something not right about you, my lad.
But at the same time, it's like they know something at the same time.
Yeah.
I just noticed that they're watching it there now.
So we get to the pivotal moment then where they basically decide to use all their last energy burst to sling themselves into a spaceship. They're not really exactly sure what the spaceship is, but they're relieved and they're safe, and Graham is very pleased with himself about saving them. We get a nice little moment in this when they're in the spaceship as well, where Yaz says to Graham, "Oh, you've come a long way, Graham O'Brien." And this is what I was talking about earlier, where potentially they're going to pair these two up, as companions when Ryan leaves, because they've certainly stepped up this series, both of them. So I think we're going to get more Yaz and more Graham next year.
Maybe maybe they're realising the same thing that happened in the 80s. 3 companions is too much.
Yeah, and I don't know if Yaz is going to leave or if Graham's going to leave. As far as I know, Graham is staying, but I don't know. Don't know about Yaz. So it would work out well if they had both of them as companions.
I mean, I think because the current Doctor's a woman, I don't think they'll go for the young female companion, because obviously they wanted.
Well, if Yaz is staying on board, then she would probably do that role. And I think it can only help the show if one of them wants to leave, to keep the other two on and keep it going. Yeah. I think that would work well.
But one of the things I would love to know them do more is what I always liked in classic was, whereas the companion was always there for regeneration, or there's like a cross between the crossover, journey here.
Yeah, I think it really, really helps. But yeah, I forgot to say they found themselves in the cyber junkyard. That's where they were before they decided to, take action and blast themselves into this spaceship. So they kind of try to get the systems up, and they kind of realize, they seem to realize it's like a warship or a carrier, and they seem to realize that. But the thing about it is that the lone Cyberman and his pals, he's not really lone anymore, we just call him Cyberleader. He's got too many pals, but he shows up anyway, and it's like, oh yeah, this is basically, it was like a scene of a battle where they lost, but he says, right, this is going to be our victory now. And basically, you don't want to be on a ship.
But I am intrigued by the whole way he is, because obviously his emotions aren't inhibited.
Yes. Oh, indeed. Yeah.
So I'm intrigued what this is all about.
And we get this guy, I've forgotten his name, the old geezer with the stick. I'm thinking, could that be Brendan? Because he does sound Irish.
Yeah.
So I don't know if it is Brendan.
He puts me in mind of Richard Harris.
Yes, he is very Richard Harris-like. Very, especially there.
It's very Richard Harris there.
But yeah, so they're essentially pressing all the buttons on this big spaceship with floors and floors of, as we find out, sleeping Cybermen, which you don't really want to waken them. So their kind of escape plan is kind of failing, but rapidly.
You remember happening 2 minutes Cybermen
Yes.
on the main base.
This Tomb of Cybermen was great at whenever they sort of wakened up and they cut their way out of the plastic,
Sorry.
The Scottish lady. The Scottish lady seems to have a little bit of a thing for Graham. That could lead to something. I was thinking if Graham's going to leave, maybe he might leave to go off with her.
Yeah, but at the same time, it would be too sudden after his feelings of Grace.
Yeah, true.
I don't think Graham's like, I forgot about Grace, I'll just go on here with you.
The Cybermen are there.
There's new design Cybermen here. That's very much reminiscent of the Cybermen that were in the invasion, and the ones later modified for the Earthshock here. See, like there, you've got like the
Yes.
they've got like the kind of helmet part of the
The ear, like headphones.
headphone part,
bit. Yeah.
which was like from the invasion onwards.
Yeah, but these guys don't say excellent.
Excellent. Actually, I forget. I love the 80s Cybermen. I just love excellent. It appears the Doctor has regenerated again.
Basically, now we're in panic mode because the Cybermen
Awakened.
are awakening. The Doctor's on this island with potentially Brandon, although we don't know who this guy is, and they have a gateway, sort of a bit like Stargate, where they open it up and it opens up a passageway through, but it opens up, weirdly enough, in Gallifrey.
Yeah.
So there is a theory that that the Doctor or the Time Lords were evolved humans. So I don't know how to explain why, this portal would open up there, but we don't really know.
Because when it opens, who appears?
I know. But before we get to that, I wanted to say, the Cyberleader, he gets these Cybermen and he basically says, all you will all ascend. But what is with his? What's he torturing them for? Do you know what that's about?
Is he trying to take the emotions away so they all have their emotions are no longer inhibited? I get it.
Well, surely those Cybermen would not have emotions because they're proper Cybermen.
Yeah, but if they're deactivated, perhaps if they don't have it before, they have a nervous breakdown when their emotions are deactivated.
Perhaps it didn't seem there didn't see any reason for it. It just seemed a bit weird. But anyway, I did wonder about that. I thought, I don't get that. I don't get why he's doing that. But yeah, we get some nice scenes, and then basically Yaz is like, "Doctor, are you out there?" And she's like, "Yeah, we're here." And then it's like, "Oh shit, we're in trouble."
Uh-oh, we're in trouble.
And then we get this scene, and she, the portal opens up, and who should plop out but
The Master.
Sacha Dhawan. It's who should pop out but Waris Hussein.
Indeed. Waris Hussein, the original Doctor Who director, is the Master. He actually is a pretty good Master, but it does feel like if he's after Missy, obviously they've kind of vetoed her redemptive story.
We just don't know. Oh yeah, so we've almost forgot about the Brendan bit where he is retired and he's taken out the back by his dad and the Garda chief, who haven't aged a day, yet he has. And then they plug him in, and they've got a clock as well, which is another hint perhaps to time. And they're giving him electrodes or whatever it is, and shocking him, trying to make him forget in some way. But I'm loving all the shots. It's very classic Who, isn't it? The Cybermen in their chamber.
Yeah.
Or tomb, if you will. No, it wasn't really a tomb. It was a tomb in Tomb of the Cybermen, but these are more like chambers.
I mean, the Cyber Wars, like mentioned briefly in this TV show, it was kind of like these are humans who have gone after, but there's many humans still alive.
Yeah.
Well, this is a different Cyber War.
Yeah. We don't really know exactly, but but yeah, we get the whole, Doctor is shocked that it's Gallifrey, and the Master plops back in with a beard. Yeah, he's been away for a while. But it's like, everything's changing. He's like, I'm doing the cliffhanger bit right now, so you better beware. Be scared.
Talking about Anthony and Neill after.
Yeah. Or are they sitting in the shadows with cat's eyes, you know, in Survival? What was it he says? He says, oh, show me. But, so what do you think then overall with that episode? Are you pleased with it, or...?
Yeah, as I say, with most two parts, it depends on how it's resolved and what happens in part 2 that really makes or break the story. I am intrigued to see how these two stories intertwine.
Yeah, because the whole Brandon thing was very strange.
Someone did post up this, some of my friends did post online about this meme. Goes, it's like I say, Chibnall seems to have taken a classic series joke as reality. Remember, there's been a couple episodes when you say, Galway, where's that in Ireland? And obviously it sounds like, has Chibnall taken this literally?
Yes, indeed. It does sound very Irish, I must admit.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's it.
Yeah.
So all that's left to say is there's one more episode of this, and then we'll do a special episode, and that's it for a while for the videos. We'll be doing a special mental health episode coming up as well. And but apart from that, it's time to go, and we'll see you next time for the final episode.
Be seeing you.
Bye for now. That bit's like someone squeezing your balls. It's like Thanks.
Dum